Hello, this is IK Tutors, and here we have another HESI question. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, so it says an IV solution is set for a certain number of drops per minute. Okay, there are 15 drops per milliliter of IV solution. Right, so that's good to know. Over the course of 5 hours, 600 milliliters of the IV solution is delivered. How many drops per minute is the IV delivering? Okay. So they've given us a conversion factor of 15 drops per milliliter. And then they gave us some quantities, 5 hours and 600, right? These quantities are time and volume. Time is hours, volume is milliliters. And they want to know how many drops per minute. So drops per minute is volumes over time, right? But we're using different units. We're going from milliliters to drops in terms of volume and from hours to minutes in terms of time. So we had to do some converting here, right? So let's go ahead to the whiteboard and see how to work this problem out. Okay, so here we have, they want to, they asked us to get from, they're doing time, volume over time, but they want us to go from milliliters and hours to drops and minutes. So we need conversion factors for each one of those so we can convert the quantity they gave us. They gave us 600 milliliters. They got to convert to drops, and they gave us 5 hours. That has to convert to minutes. So let's work on the milliliters first. 600 milliliters is what's given, right? Now, to do any conversion, we can do it in a three-step process, right? We have to know what we're going between. So we're going from milliliters to drops. And they told us what this conversion factor was. So the first step is we're going to write the conversion factor, right? And they said it was 15 drops equals 1 milliliter. Right. Right. So now we have a conversion factor. The second step is we're going to put this in fractional format based on what we want to end up with. Right. So what do we want to end up with? The question says we want drops, right? So we're going to put the drops on top. So it's going to be 15 drops. Whatever we want to end up with goes on top over the milliliters. So that's our conversion factor in fractional form. Now the third step is real simple. We simply multiply by what's given. What do they give us? They give us 600 milliliters. So we're going to multiply that 600 milliliters by the conversion factor we got in step 2. 600 milliliters times our conversion factor of 15 drops over a milliliter. All right, now we can go ahead and calculate. Okay, so the rule of fractions is we have a fraction here that whenever the fraction is involved in an equation, we have to write all the other numbers in fractional format. So we're just going to put a 1 underneath this 600 milliliters to take care of that. And now we have to deal with the rule of multiplying fractions, which is we multiply across the top, we multiply across the bottom, canceling out anything that matches in the top and bottom, whether it be units or factors of numbers. So let's look and see if we see any units matching in top and bottom. We do. So this milliliter on top will cancel out with the milliliter on the bottom. Now we go ahead and we perform the math. So we'll do the bottom first. 1 times 1 is 1. On the top, we know we have drops, right? And 600 times 15 is going to give us 9,000 drops. Now, we have 9,000 drops over 1. Anything divided by 1 is itself. So that means that we have our answer is going to be, well, not our answer, but the conversion for 600 milliliters is going to be equal to 900 drops. So now we have that. Right? So we can go ahead here. We've converted the 600 milliliters to, I said 9,000 drops. Now there's other ways to do this, but I wanted to do it. You can do it all together, but I wanted to show it a little clearer, so I did it this way. Right. So now we're going to convert the bottom part. 5 hours, right? And then we're going to simplify. So we have 5 hours, and we want to convert that to what? They say minutes, right? Those are the times we want to deal with. So from hours to minutes. So we have to come up with a conversion factor for that, right? And what's the conversion factor between hours and minutes? 1 hour equals 60 minutes. It's just an equivalence. Right. Now we have to write it in fractional format. And remember, we have to, whatever what we want to end up with goes on top. So we want to end up with minutes, so we have to put the minutes on top. So we can put this in fractional format with the minutes on top. And now, let's do step 3 over here. We're going to do the last step again, and this is the conversion procedure that we're using. We'll use for both of these. You can put this on an index card if you'd like. So step 3 is, what does the procedure say? We're going to multiply by what's given. So what's given? They give us 5 hours. And we're going to multiply that by the conversion factor. Our conversion factor we got in step 2 is 60 minutes over 1 hour. All right. So now we're going to go multiply, but remembering the rules of fractions, if you have a fraction in the equation, all the other numbers must be represented in fractional format. So we're going to put a 1 underneath the 5 to take care of that. And now the other rule is that when multiplying fractions, we have to multiply, we're going to cancel out anything that matches in the top and bottom. That'd be units or factors. We're going to multiply across the top, and we're going to multiply across the bottom. And we see that we have hours on top that cancel out with the hours on the bottom. Now we can multiply across. So on the bottom, we have 1 times 1 is 1. On the top, we have 5 times 60. That's going to give us 300. And the units here are minutes. Right? Now, anything divided by 1 is itself. So that means 5 hours is equivalent to 300 minutes. So we can go ahead and put that in the bottom part here. So now we have the units that they want the answer in. They want the drops over minutes. We have converted our units, original units to drops over minutes, and now we just simplify the numbers. So if we divide 9,000 by 300, we get our answer of 30 drops per minute. And there you go. Voila. Okay, so I hope that helps. And if it does, please remember to like and subscribe so we can continue providing more helpful videos. I will see you on the next video. Have an amazing day.